It's 10 to 4 in the morning, and I still haven't been to sleep yet. I'm trying to fall asleep, but my adhesive port dressing cover is itching and blah blah blah. So I'm just uncomfortable and have a headache and really just want to sleep and wake up and do fun things like eat and take my meds and record fun videos for things. Yep, so I'm gonna try to sleep somehow. Good morning. It's just after 9. I think I probably slept for about 5 hours, but I have to get up to take my meds and probably go back to sleep for a couple hours. So I didn't go back to sleep just yet. I decided to check social media and see what was going on before I took another little nap, and you'll never guess what happened or what I stumbled upon. People magazine released an interview with Lavigne, and she has opened up that she's been dealing with Lyme disease now for a few months, and just how much it's affected her and how sick she's been. So as much as I want to say yay for getting some more awareness, I'm genuinely bummed out because I would wish this disease on nobody, and that another person has to suffer like we do is just horrible. That said, it is not an April Fool's Day prank. That would be sick and disgusting. But, yep, I was talking to a friend who I was like, we were just talking about Avril Lavigne last night, because I started saying Skater Boy out of nowhere, and we were like, yeah, we haven't heard from her in a while, I wonder where she's been. And I was like, well, you'll never guess what happened. And so my friend was all like, well, they put this huge clickbait link, clickbait when you have this misleading headline and you want people to read what you've written and whatever. Generally, yeah, I'm super against clickbait because it's misleading, but in this situation, they say, health crisis, and that's a genuine description. It's a ginormous health crisis affecting the entire body systems and organs and everything. So I don't think it was overly exaggerative or whatever, because if People magazine would have posted, Lyme disease in the title, I think that people would not have bought the magazine to read the article, because they have learned, I guess, or heard that Lyme disease really isn't a big deal, I guess. And that's horrible, because there are thousands of us suffering and are proof of that. So, yeah, I mean, it deserves as much awareness as possible. But, yeah, I didn't get to read the entire article, but of course they link you to the CDC's website for more information, which many of us know that the CDC's guidelines are very flawed, and diagnostic testing procedures are also very flawed, where the test is 50% accurate, meaning pretty much useless. You could have a false negative and really be seriously sick for many, many years, and then go undiagnosed and misdiagnosed. And also they point to I think they call it post-Lyme disease syndrome or something like that, which in the Lyme disease community, and is, we're considered chronic Lyme disease patients because it's such a, I guess, unique and serious condition that it's very hard to treat and very hard to get rid of all of the bacteria and the, different co-infections that come along with Lyme disease. So, the CDC is taking many steps backwards. So they end up, with post-Lyme disease syndrome, which then, because people are still sick and miserable, they end up lessening it to either fibromyalgia or chronic fatigue syndrome, which we know is not much of a diagnosis. There's, no cure or no really treatment. They all just help with coping with symptoms and make you comfortable, and you're not comfortable because you're not getting better. You're just putting more drugs in your body and trying to deal with it. So, yeah, I genuinely believe there's a root cause to everything, and if we don't find that, I don't know that you're really going to be able to start to heal. So that's one of the big problems with the messed up society right now with regarding the guidelines and diagnosis, protocols and things going on right now, but we're doing a lot to change that by spreading awareness and, sharing relevant information with people. So, yeah, I just thought that was super, super ironic because I was just talking about Avril Lavigne last night, and also that, wow, scary, But, I applaud her for for standing up and being brave, because it takes a lot to admit, when you're like I don't know, she's like probably multi-million-dollar recording artist or whatever, and to stand up and say, hey, my body's not working properly is not easy. We've been there, and yep, well, sadly she's not alone. There's many other celebrities who have come out and said very similar stories. So I think, we do need that, I guess I hate to say the publicity, but, it's important to get the word out there that this is real, this is serious, this is a problem, and, to get the right information into the general public to avoid, or prevent, or, to have the information if people do end up getting sick. So, yep, there's my little tidbit, and this is all before 10 in the morning, so still a little bit blah. I don't know at this point if I'm going to go back to sleep or just get up and fight through the migraine and have a, fun day. Woo! So I finally got out of bed. You'll never guess what I'm going to be doing now. Alright, it's time for my IV. So I've got my sodium chloride. Take it from the bag. If there's any condensation on it, I like to wipe it off so then I can make sure that there's no leaks in the bag. You always want to check to make sure it's sterile, and that you want to squeeze it a little bit. And we look good. So we want to keep everything aseptic technique, making sure not to touch any part that can be, introduced to the body. So this is a sterile administration set, and it has a plastic protector on the tip and another plastic protector on this tip, and it's clean and sterile. So we're gonna spike the bag. I like to close it off a little bit so when I prime it, it doesn't go crazy. And without touching anything. Oops, had a little kerfuffle with the video thing before, but I've spiked my IV bag, I've hung it, and I've checked my administration set and tubing for any signs of leaks or anything. So now I'm going to prime the bag, which means you let it flow all the way through until you have liquid coming out of the end. It makes sure that you have no air bubbles or anything in there. I like to do it slowly so it prevents a chance of air bubbles coming in there, because air into the veins is not good. Little bubbles are okay, but large gaps of air are not okay. So we're running through, and if you can see it flowing right here, and then once it comes out of the end completely, then I know that I can clamp it shut, and then I'm ready to go to the next step. Next step, I've already washed my hands, but I'm going to put gloves on anyway. Can't ever be too safe. And in case you're wondering, this is IV fluids via my chest port. So first I'm going to open my saline flush, and then you pull back, and then you push forward to make sure you get no air bubbles. And I set it right there, making sure not to touch anything. And then we want 3 alcohol wipes. I'm gonna uncap my tip, touch it at the corner, and then scrub. Let it dry a little bit before doing the next 2. All the while not touching the tip, because that's the important part. That's what goes into my body. And then again, letting it dry just a little, because alcohol kills when it's drying. And then you want to make sure not to breathe on it, of course. So then I uncap, push, turn, unclamp. And I'm going to draw back to see if there's blood return. There is. We're good to go. That means that my needle is placed correctly in the port, and I'm able to inject and administer IVs correctly. So I'm flushing very slowly. You push, pulse, push, pulse, push, pulse. Because you don't want to go too fast, because it's leading directly to the heart. You can put too much stress onto the heart. And then, so I flushed, and I'm ready to hook up my IV. And again, not touching this tip, not touching that tip. I plug in, and I can start my drip. And we're going. Of course, I've been taught by my doctor and my nurses and everything to do this myself, because it was too much to have the nurse come out all the time to do it when I needed to. So yeah, I'm so super grateful that I'm able to do it at home. It has saved me numerous trips to the emergency room to get fluid. So
I'm beyond grateful. It's a big risk to take on, to have a port, because the chance of infections and everything are greatly increased, but you know, I have to remain clean and not do anything crazy. So yep, there we go. Now we'll see. I gotta make some phone calls and do some more stuff, but maybe I'll see you in a few.